Alright, so this lesson deals with dimensional analysis, and this is just a technique for converting one unit into another unit. Okay, so if we had quarts and needed to convert it into liters, or we had centimeters and needed to convert it into feet, these things can be handled with dimensional analysis. Alright, so we're just going to start with a relationship, and one of the relationships that you might know, might not know, is that 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Alright, so if we had something that was 12 inches long, it was a foot, how many centimeters is that? Okay, and hopefully just mathematically you know you're either going to multiply by 2.54 or you're going to divide by 2.54. Okay, but before we even get there, what we're going to do is we are going to divide both sides of this relationship by 1 inch. Okay, so we can do that. Alright, and we know from math that if we divide one side by something, we can divide the other by something, and we have the same relationship. Okay, but what happens if we just focus on this part right here? Again, mathematically, 1 inch divided by 1 inch equals what? It equals 1, because anything over itself is 1. So if this is 1, so if we kind of think of A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So really 2.54 centimeters divided by 1 inch equals 1 unit. Okay, whatever 1 happens to be, it's not really a unit, just it is whole. Okay. Conversely, we could have 1 inch, okay, equals 2.54 centimeters. And instead of dividing by 1 inch, we're going to divide both sides by 2.54 centimeters. Alright, and again, if we look at this, that equals 1. So not only does 2.54 centimeters divided by 1 inch equal 1, but so does 1 inch divided by 2.54 centimeters. Okay? They're the same length, so because they're the same length, a unit divided by another unit of the same length equals 1. Okay? So if we had something like a problem where I gave you 11 inches equals how many centimeters? Okay? What we're going to do is our rules for dimensional analysis are very, very easy. We're going to start with what we know. So what do we know? We know this right here. Okay, so we're going to say 11 inches. Alright, and what's going to end up happening is we're just going to have 11 inches here. And with our 11 inches, we might set up a fraction. Okay, so anything over 1 is itself. And we can multiply that. Okay, so start with what you know, and then let your units be your guide. Okay, so we're going to ignore 11 and our 1 right now. And what is our unit? Our unit is inches. So because inches is in the numerator, we want to have inches in the denominator. Alright, we want to have inches in the denominator because, again, anything over itself equals 1. So we're going to have inches. And what do we want to go to? We want to go to centimeters. Okay, so centimeters. So is there a relationship between with centimeters in the numerator and inches in the denominator? And there is. We listed it right up here. Okay. Is 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. So I'm going to fill in my units now. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch, or 1 inches. Alright? Because what are we really multiplying here? We're really multiplying by 1, correct? Because 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch equals 1. So anything times 1 is itself. So really all that's happening is we are changing our units. So I'm going to pull up a calculator, and we're going to do the math real quick. So we're going to type in 11 times 2.54, and we are going to get 27.94, and our units are going to be inches times centimeters, because those are the two things in the numerator. And in the denominator, we're going to have 1 times 1 inch, so we're going to have 1 inch. Or we're just going to put inches, just so it makes sense. Alright, And now what happens? Because we let our units be our guide, and our inches run the numerator and inches the denominator, what happens over here is we can cancel out our inches and our inches, alright? And that leaves us with what unit? It leaves us with centimeters, and centimeters is what we wanted to know. So we know that we need to multiply by 2.54 centimeters, okay? But you're going to find yourself throughout the year, over and over again, do I multiply this, do I divide this? Two rules, alright? I'm going to go over those two rules real quick. Super easy. First thing is, start with what you know, right? So number one, start with what you know. And number two is almost as easy. Let your units be your guide. Alright, so first rule, start with what you know. Second rule, let your units be your guide. And all the units be your guide is simply, we're going to look at this again, is whatever your unit in the numerator is going to become your unit in the denominator. So again, right up here I had inches in the numerator, which meant immediately I had to put inches in the denominator. How come? Because what happens is over here our inches cancel out, because inches are on top, inches are on bottom, anything divided by itself is 1. Alright? And that is it.